Hi, my name is Terry Walkowitz, and I'm the Education Director for the New Bedford Symphony Orchestra. This year, the New Bedford Symphony Orchestra is celebrating our 100th birthday, and our season is filled with blockbuster concerts from September through May to celebrate this amazing milestone. Our education programs are also celebrating our birthday as we set out to do something that no other orchestra has ever done, to have 4,000 children compose a new piece for orchestra with a world premiere by the New Bedford Symphony Orchestra just for them. This is all part of our Learning in Concert program. Learning in Concert is an education program that spans across an entire school year, partnering the New Bedford Symphony Orchestra with over 50 schools all across Massachusetts and Rhode Island. It begins each year with the selection of a concept of study. This concept is something that's important to understanding and learning about classical music and ultimately loving classical music. We then find other subject areas across the curriculum that share this same concept. For example, a couple years ago, we explored the concept of symmetry in classical music, but we didn't stop there. We then explored symmetry in the artwork of M.C. Escher and in geometry. Last year, we explored the concept of contrast in classical music, photography, two-voice poetry, and grammar. And this year, we're connecting classical music with science. This year's program is called Adaptations in Motion, Animal and Musical. We'll be exploring motion in animals and motion in music. In science, we will investigate the specific adaptation of locomotion, beginning our journey 360 million years ago in the Devonian period, where all of Earth's life was swimming in water. We then moved to Tiktaalik, marked as the fish that first emerged to begin life moving onto land. We then discover all the different types of locomotion that children see around them today, and that has evolved over millions of years, from tree climbing to jumping to running and flight. Music also has motion. When we are doing programs in the school, we play classical music that moves just like these animals. The children will hear the undulating rhythmic and melodic motion of a fish swimming in water, or classical music that crawls like a lizard on land, even classical music that jumps like a kangaroo. We then go back into the schoolroom and we teach the children how to graph and compose melodies that move just like these animals. We then collect all of the students' melodies and combine them to create a new piece for orchestra. This piece, Adaptations for Orchestra, will be premiered at our Young People's Concert early spring 2016. When we investigated Tiktaalik, we wanted to show the children how vitally connected scientific illustrators are to science and our understanding of animals that lived long before us. Calliope Monios is the scientific illustrator who created the illustration of Tiktaalik for the book Your Inner Fish. Calliope will be traveling to New Bedford to meet and work with our students. In preparation for her visit, many schools are taking the Learning in Concert program to the next level by having their students try their hand at scientific illustration. We're here at the Gomes School, who is participating in all phases of our Learning in Concert program. Our trio came to perform a program here, and I just visited a little while ago to work in the classroom to have children compose melodies that move like animals. Now the children here at Gomes are having a chance to try scientific illustration firsthand, thanks to local artist and New Bedford policeman Lt Corolla. Let's go see what Scott is teaching his students and how he's inspiring them to create and draw. Lieutenant Corolla, you're a policeman and an artist. What's up with that?
Well, what's up with that? Well, one complements the other. I guess I think all kids begin as artists. We all begin as artists when we're young, and John Lennon said that every child's an artist until some adult tells them that they're not. Fortunately, nobody ever told me that I wasn't, but I kind of moved away from it to get into law enforcement, and I returned to it as a result of law enforcement to kind of combat the stress and the anxiety, and so drawing to me was an outlet for stress, and it was a few years ago that I started picking it up again, and I haven't looked back. So I've been very lucky that I've have an established career, and I'm trying to foster a second career on top of that, you know, kind of like an avocation meeting a vocation. So.
What has it been like working with the students here at the Gomes Elementary School?
It's been really good. It's a new experience for me. I've never, I mean, aside from my own children and going to talk to their class every now and then, I've never had a steady interaction with kids that I was trying to teach or instruct and guide along, and it's been about maybe 6 to 8 weeks now, and it's been on a regular basis. It's been very good. It's kind of a life-changing experience.
Really?
I think. Yeah.
Well, we want to thank you so much for taking your time to work with the students here in Gomes, and just personally thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
My name is Elaine Santos, and I am a grade 5 teacher at the Alfred J. Gomes School. My class was privileged this season to have the New Bedford Symphony Orchestra's Learning in Concert program under the auspices of Lt Corolla. He's been coming weekly into my classroom and offers art lessons to my children. Of interest, it's made a huge difference in the capacity to learn, in their ability to see detail. He's a gift. On one particular occasion, one of our children in class had an extreme breakdown over the quality of the work that he was able to produce. It was heartwarming to witness Lt Corolla gather this young man into his arms and escort him from the room, and in a quick 30 to 40-second conversation, in a very gentle tone, turn his entire behavior around, bring him back into the classroom where he fully participated in the lesson. Of note, this young man has had such disability through the years. The one thing that has been a breakthrough for him this season has been art. We're truly blessed to have the program, and I really hope it continues.
So we are doubling up on the art class this week. How's everybody feel about that? Feel good? How you doing, man? You excited? So what we try to do, a monkey. We did a gorilla, right? We're going to continue. Why don't we do kind of not a circle, but an egg-shaped. Who knows what that's called? Oval. Wow, you guys are on top of it. You guys are on top of it. I don't think I've even said the word oval before in here. Give me a circle over here. The head. Very good. You guys are getting too good. Another oval for a hind leg. The bottom of the leg and the shoulder in the front. We want to go a little bit, go light so that we can erase if we have to, all right? This is just the foundation of what it is that we're drawing. We're going to do another oval over here for the forearm. Kind of looks like a turtle a little bit, huh? We will get there, though. All right. Now, when we do a face, what we try to do is try to make cross lines where the eyes are going to be and the nose is going to be and the mouth, just to help us put them where they're supposed to be. Okay, so I'm going to do an eye line over here, a nose line over here, the mouth line over here. 3 and 3. Because he's looking this way, right? Okay, now with darker lines we want to start to flesh that in. Okay? Remember, the lines that we just put down, the circles and the ovals and any triangles that we use, that's just a guide for where we're supposed to be. So I'm going to kind of connect the dots. We can make the hand now over here as we flesh it in. Okay, the hindquarters, the back of the leg. Are we starting to see in our heads the monkey that we're trying to draw? We're starting to see it on paper as well. So it doesn't look so shapy and so blocky. We're going to start getting rid of some of these inside lines, okay? So how many of you guys are seeing monkey now, right? Right, from what we drew, just a series of circles, a series of lines. Now when you sit down to draw a monkey, right off the bat, it might be kind of difficult to draw a monkey, right? But it's not that difficult to draw the lines and the circles, and that's why we use the shapes first, because that gives us the map of where we're supposed to be. I'm gonna come around and see how you guys are doing.
Captain Cadero, we've talked to Scott Corolla about his teaching time here at Gomes. We have to recognize the New Bedford Police Department for stepping up and funding his time here teaching the kids. Why was this important for the New Bedford Police Department to fund his teaching time here at Gomes?
Well, first of all, let me just say how grateful we are to have Lt Corolla as part of our staff. Not only does he do great work as a police lieutenant on the Bedford Police Department, but his talents and his enthusiasm for helping out the community is immeasurable. So getting that out of the way and thanking him is very important. But it's extremely important for us, given what's going on in our community, to try to reach these young students at a young age and find their talents, a voice, if you will, using art, and giving them some positive self-esteem about themselves is extremely important to us. Especially as they progress through our community. We want them to be great community members and to be very successful. And I can't think of a better way to do it.
So the collaboration between an orchestra, a police department, an elementary school, all coming together to help teach children. How do you view this collaboration?
Well, Terry, I got to tell you, it's incredible, and I think it speaks volumes and highlights one of our greatest resources here in the city of New Bedford, and that's our people. People here are just incredibly caring and great neighbors, and I think this shows and highlights that our biggest asset that we have here in the city of New Bedford is our people. Like yourself, Terry, we're grateful for all the work that you do, and I'm sure that goes unrecognized and you fly on the radar, but we are very grateful for you, the New Bedford City Symphony, the school department in New Bedford, the New Bedford Police Department, and if I might just take a quick minute and thank the New Bedford Police Union for funding the supplies for one of the classrooms, and of course my great friend Dr. Chris Walkowitz, who came up at the last minute when we found that there was another classroom that we were going to fund and we did not have the funds. So thank you, Dr. Walkowitz, for your kindness and your charity to expand the program to another classroom. And who knows, we're building here, what seeds are we planting here, and hopefully we'll all be able to see the fruits of that labor. If I might just add one more point, I think Sonia Johnson, if I might quote her, said, one determined person can make a significant difference, but a group of determined people can change history. And I'm hoping that these seeds that you, Terry, Lt Corolla, the school department, the symphony, Dr. Walkowitz, the teachers, and more importantly, these students will have a chance to change history here in the city of New Bedford as they progress through their academic careers and hopefully return and give back.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're here with Mrs. Gallant, the principal at the Gomes Elementary School in New Bedford. So many exciting developments. You feel a new energy here in the building. How has the collaboration between the New Bedford Symphony Orchestra programming, the New Bedford Police Department helped to contribute to support what you're trying to do here at Gomes Elementary?
Sure. First of all, thank you so much. It's been a tremendous privilege to have you here this year. It's the transformation with the kids has been amazing. We have, like you said, a new energy, a new vision, a new mission here at Gomes School this year. We applied for Expanded Learning Time grant, which really allows us the opportunity to grow the whole child. So here at Gomes, we're growing graduates. We're getting them ready for the outside world. And one of our big missions is to nourish the whole child, not just through academics, but through their wealth of other knowledges, interests, and talents and learning styles. So with the New Bedford Symphony Orchestra and the New Bedford Police Department, it really has offered them an opportunity to explore their other interests as well as tap into their various learning styles. So we're so grateful.
Oh, we're so happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'd like to introduce, this is Lt Corolla. He is a policeman with the New Bedford Police Department, but I have to tell you, he's not just a policeman, he's an amazing artist. And he's going to begin working with you each week to teach you how to draw, like Calliope was drawing in our program. So can we have a big round of applause for your new teacher?
If I were to ask everybody in this room right now, how many of you guys and girls are artists, I would expect that every hand should go up, okay? Because a very wise man once said, every child is an artist until somebody tells them that they're not. So don't let anybody tell you that you are not an artist. We are all artists. And when I was your age, I used to draw also. And I drew probably until I was maybe a teenager. And then once I became a little bit older, I wanted to get into police work, so I concentrated very much on police work. So I became a police officer in this city in the year of 2000, which is 15 years ago now. So I've been a patrolman. I've been a narcotics detective. I've been in charge of the gang unit. Now I'm a lieutenant in charge of the patrol division, okay? So a few years ago, I was taking on a lot of work, a lot of police work. I was seeing a lot of things on the streets that were bothering me, and everybody has stress, everybody has anxiety, especially when you get older. Your stresses change and your anxiety changes. So what I decided to do was go back to the years earlier when I was drawing, and I remember that drawing made me feel good, okay? It put me at ease, it helped me deal with a lot of my stress, and I began to draw again, and I started to get really good at it, and I kept practicing it, and I just haven't looked back since. So in the time since I've been drawing very seriously, I've had my artwork shown in galleries. I have a drawing at the Whaling Museum right now. I go to Comic-Cons. How many people know what Comic-Con is? Right? You guys know what Comic-Con is, right? Maybe you've been. I've been to the Boston Comic-Con, the Rhode Island Comic-Con. I've done shows in New York. And so I'm here to teach you guys a little bit about artwork, about how to incorporate artwork into your daily lives, all right, and the different uses for it. I work in, a lot of people when they do artwork, seriously, they paint, you know. But painting is a little bit messy sometimes, especially with me. I got 3 kids in my house, and I like to be able to draw on the go. So one of the things that's going to be great for us is that, you know, I like to draw in pencil. I draw in graphite pencil and colored pencil. All the stuff I do is in pencil. So most people have pencils. You know, you might not have a place in your house where you can paint, but you can always usually whip out a sketch pad and start drawing in pencil. So, you know, we're going to go over a lot of those techniques. And we're going to sit down, we're going to learn some techniques together, and we're going to learn how to draw. Okay, so this is an example of some of the things that I drew. Now these are, I draw for Comic-Cons, so these are a lot of things that you might recognize from television shows and stuff like that, and comic book characters. So these are some of my drawings, okay? If you guys saw, yeah? Who knows what show that is? Yes? That's from Supernatural, yeah, very good. Trip on a carpet. Some things that I drew. Thank you very much, David, for following that. These are all drawn in pencil. Talk to who? You guys like Talk to who? That's colored pencil. That's graphite pencil. You guys can't watch Walking Dead, right? You're too young, right? What? You're not supposed to be watching Walking Dead. Nothing wrong with some some blood and guts during there.
Should we give her a surprise?
Huh?
Should we give her a surprise?
Yeah. So listen. One of the things that got me going when I started to draw again, I had to take my daughter to an art supply store to get her some art supplies for her art class. And I started to look at a pencil set, and I said to myself, you know what? Maybe I'd like to get one of these pencil sets and start drawing again. So, if you have the right materials, and you have the supplies, sometimes that, you have the tools that you need. It makes you want to build something, right? So everybody needs their own tools. I have my own tools as a police officer, and I have my own tools as an artist as well. Something you all have. You all have creativity. You are all artists, but right now you might not have the tools. So thankfully, these tools have been donated by Dr. Walkowitz, who is Mrs. Walkowitz's husband, a very generous person. So they have contributed these. So we're going to give you guys all art supplies.
At the center of the Learning in Concert program is the idea that children learn best by making connections. By exploring a concept like motion across subject areas, it allows the children to create a deeper and stronger understanding than would have been possible by study in one subject alone. This year, with our exploration of classical music and science, more specifically biology, has led us to a unique partnership and collaboration with the Buttonwood Park Zoo. We are so fortunate to have them working with our Learning in Concert program this year. And they have been incredibly generous to donate a free pass to every one of the students participating in our Learning in Concert program. That's over 10,000 children receiving a free pass to the zoo right here in New Bedford. When we work with the students in the Learning in Concert program, we teach them about TRAM. TRAM is an anagram that stands for tempo, range, and motion. We teach the children to use TRAM as a tool to analyze motion in music and motion in animals. When they come to the zoo, there's a whole different activity for them to still experience TRAM. When they receive their free passes, there's a scavenger map that shows the map of our zoo. At each of the X's on the map is a different type of animal locomotion, from swimming to climbing to crawling, running, and flight. When they get to one of these places in the zoo, there's a tram stop sign. That's a place for the children to stop and think about tempo, range, and motion in that exhibit right in front of them. But on the tram stop sign is a little black and white square. That's called a QR code. If the parents download a free QR reader app on their cell phone and simply hold the app to the tram stop sign, it will launch a video of the New Bedford Symphony Orchestra musicians playing music that moves, just like those animals. So while the children are watching flight, they can hear flight. While they're watching swimming, they'll hear classical music that swims. Let's go inside and see how these tram passes work. Hi, we're here with Kerry Hawthorne, who's the curator of education here at the Buttonwood Park Zoo. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
So a collaboration between a symphony orchestra and a zoo. Is it clever or crazy?
When you first called me about a year ago, I will say I didn't really know what you were talking about and I thought it was a little crazy, but now that we're in it, it's amazing. It's just incredible and we're so excited to be a part of it.
What has it been like to have the symphony and introducing music into an area that usually is just talking about animals?
Well, I think it opens the zoo up to all kinds of collaborations and partnerships that we never even thought of before, and we get to do really fun stuff with art and music that we don't always think about. So we get to highlight what the orchestra is doing here. The orchestra gets to highlight what the zoo does here, so it's just the perfect collaboration.
It makes New Bedford a very fun place to come and visit.
Absolutely.
As part in Learning in Concert, we also have the opportunity for schools to kind of extend on the biology curriculum and have the Buttonwood Park Zoo come into classrooms. What happens when they travel into schools?
Sure, so we're fortunate to have something called the Zoomobile that can take the zoo to schools that might not be able to get to us. The Zoomobile brings learning from the zoo right to the classroom with things like live animals, zoo educators, and the fun part about this project is all my staff, all the educators here at the zoo, got to learn all about music and the symphony and how to connect that to animal movement, and it's really nice to be able to showcase some of our animal ambassadors through your music program, so it's been really fun.
We're actually standing here at a tram stop. What kind of locomotion do we see here?
So this is our running tram stop, and you're not going to see it this late in the afternoon, but we do have some amazing video of the bison running, and the music fits perfectly with the bison running across their field.
So once here at the tram stop sign, they would just scan this with their cell phone, and then we would hear music that moves in a running motion, as well as seeing the bison moving in a running motion.
And it's been really fun this fall to see families coming in. So kids who have been through your education program at their schools get to bring multi-generations of families. We've seen grandparents and parents, we've seen older siblings, younger siblings, and they all travel around the zoo together with their QR code. They visit the tram stops, they're experiencing the animals that are here. They're also getting to teach them about the classical music that they're listening to at each stop. So it's been really neat to see the kids teaching their families while they're here at the zoo, and it's a great way to encourage people to come visit us when they might not think we're even open, but we're here year-round.
Now, our elephants are music lovers, are they not?
They are. Our elephants love percussion and drumming. Not only do they drum themselves, but they're very interested in hearing others drum.
We need to make a tram stop so we can hear the elephants performing.
They might love that.
Oh, thank you so much, Kerry, for talking to us.
Thank you. This has been fun.
Hi. Good afternoon. Thank you. Enjoy your visit.
Well, welcome to the aquatics building. You guys are right here on your tramologist scavenger hunt at this X. And today I have out Rosie. Does anyone know what kind of animal Rosie is?
No, a lizard.
A lizard, very good. She's a special kind of lizard called a red tegu, and they're from the rainforest of South America.
So
Now, how do you guys, what motion do you think Rosie's a part of? Do you think she's a flyer? Do you think she's flying?
Do you like
No. What motion do you think Rosie would move in?
Do you like a turtle?
What do you think? What would you call that? Swimming? Crawling,
Do you like
maybe.
have every animal here?
We have a lot of animals here, yeah.
Yeah,
So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and use my special QR code to scan our tram stop, and we'll listen to some music that matches Rosie, and I'll let her walk around for you, okay? And we'll see. Pretty cool, right?
She moves as slow as a turtle.
Kind of like a turtle, she crawls.
What does she want to eat?
Well, she likes to eat all kinds of fruits and veggies, and sometimes a little bit of bugs. Do you like to eat bugs?
No. Ew.
She does.
Does she eat flies?
Sometimes.
Does she have any?
She has little teeny tiny teeth. She's not going to move. Here, let me see if I can get her to go this way. Hold on. Give her some space.
She's coming to us. It looks really cool. She's coming to us. She's coming to me up. Hello.
Can you give her a little bit of space? Try and walk that way and see if she'll follow you. Here she comes.
She's not. This way. This way. This way.
She says, I don't even know what these people are all about right now. We will in a minute.
Does she like it when you touch her on the tail?
She doesn't mind it. Here, I'll pick her up and you guys can feel what her tail feels like. What is she covered in?
Skin?
Scales. She's a reptile.
Oh, she's actually hard.
Yeah.
Whoa, feels cool. Right up here, it's kind of hot.
Oh, let's see. She wants to show us crawling again. Maybe. Can you see how her movement moves just like that piece of music?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You want to play again? Can you guys crawl like that music? I'll play it again.
Jackson, watch out.
Give her some space though, okay? You don't want to step on her.
Following her. Let's follow.
Oh, just give her a little bit of space, buddy.
Jackson.
She's not used to being so close. Oh, no, honey. Give her a little bit of space, okay? Can you crawl like her? I'm gonna try.
Spread out a little so we can give her
Sure.
She likes.
Oh, no, you gotta give her some space, okay? She doesn't know you that well. Ready? Can you crawl that way with her?
We want to thank you for watching and learning all about the New Bedford Symphony Orchestra's Learning in Concert program and meeting our partners with the Buttonwood Park Zoo and the New Bedford Police Department, artist Lt Corolla, and our friends at the Gomes Elementary School in New Bedford. We invite you all to visit the New Bedford Symphony website to learn more about the Learning in Concert program. Just go on nbsymphony.org and click on the Learning in Concert tab, and there you'll see all the student compositions and their melodies that will create this amazing piece for orchestra, which will be premiered this spring at our Young People's Concert. Thank you.